welcome to Irish Football Fan TV. This is the live watch along. We've got Dundalk against Rapid Vienna in the Europa League, and I'm joined by Gary Spain. Gary, how are you keeping? We've lots to discuss.
Yeah, good, Paul. Keeping well. Yeah,
Yeah,
looking
just
forward to this one.
anyone who's joining late, we just had a little bit of technical difficulties with audio sound, but we're here now. Gary, as you were saying, we've a lot to discuss, so I suppose we'll start with David McGoldrick retiring. I mean, obviously, if anyone wants to get some questions in or some comments in, leave the comments there and we'll get to them. And if you're having trouble hearing us, let us know early doors. So, David McGoldrick, Gary.
Yeah, well, it's not good news. I mean, to me, he was a certain starter for our team, and he's going to be a big loss. I mean, he's not. He was never. I mean, what did he get? One goal, was it? He was never going to be a great goal scorer, but he does create so much, and he's just. It came as a shock. I wasn't expecting it. A total shock, particularly just before an international window. And I don't know. It's just not good news. And I don't know what other people think. What do you think, Paul? But it's big disappointment for me.
Yeah, well, I obviously did a video on it last night, saying like it's not good because how influential he's been in the last campaign. I know he didn't score goals, and people are like, "Oh yeah, I'm happy to see him get rid of him because he doesn't score goals, he doesn't do this and that." But what he does bring is calmness up front. He brings an element of being able to take down the ball and take pressure off our defensive midfielders by keeping the ball up in the opposition's half, which is what none of the other players have shown they can do so far. So for me, I think that's a massive loss. He's got skill, awareness, as also he can come deep and let players run beyond them. And I don't think any of our other players have that ability in which he has. So that's why I think he's a huge loss. And Stephen had a press conference earlier on. I put that up on the channel as well, so that's there if anyone wants to check it out afterwards. Um, and he basically said, I think he was aiming to get to the Euros with Ireland and then retire. Obviously, that didn't happen because we got beat by Slovakia, and then he must have just made a decision. And he said that he'd been playing on that injury, I think during the Slovakia game and stuff like that. He had that abductor injury, and then
Yeah.
missed out when he got back. Brewster took his place in the Sheffield United lineup, so I think that's kind of came into his thinking as well. He wants to get his place back with Sheffield United. Gavin Cooney then asked him if kind of he could be called back if needs be, and he didn't really rule it out, but he basically said you'd have to ask David McGoldrick that. So he may still come back if we really, really need him or if we're struggling, but for now it's I suppose leave him be.
Yeah. Well, said it's a big disappointment. Maybe he'll reconsider. I just hope it's not something that's going to become a thing now, that because you actually see it with a lot of countries, guys retiring at 30, 31. I think Dizzy was 32, which is still very young these days. You see Zlatan playing on to 39 and
Yeah,
playing really well, playing phenomenal stuff. So,
just trying to fix
good
this there.
chance
Don't
there.
mind me.
It's a goal.
Go, Hubin.
A goal for Dundalk. Pat Hooban. Oh, yes. What a start.
My camera is acting the maggot here. Here we
So,
go.
I'll have to
Goalkeeper
watch the
error.
replay. Well, it was still a
Oh,
good header. Yeah, I think the keeper probably should have stopped it. He did get a hand to it. But long ball into the box, and we just watch the replay now and see who took the. I think it was a free kick, wasn't it? No, it was just a.
oh, it's going onside there.
There's no VAR, so it doesn't matter.
Oh,
So
good play. Hey,
yeah, just play
Chris
back to
Shields.
Chris Shields. Put the long ball in. Pat Hooban lost his marker,
Oh,
and
he heads it
yeah,
into the ground. Yeah, and that's a
yeah,
good
heads it
bounce
into the
against the
ground.
keeper.
Keeper gets a hand, but it kind of just
Brilliant.
deceives the keeper. What a
Do,
start!
do you know what? If he gets a few goals in this competition, with Didsey being ruled out now as well, you wouldn't rule out Stephen Kenny calling him up.
Well, you can't rule out any striker that's in form at this stage because we are. I mean, the other thing I was going to say about Didzy is he's a key player for us, but he's also a key player in a key position. I mean, I think you passed a comment on the Twitter that the defenders are looking pretty good. I mean, we have in the squad where I've said it as well a few times. We're pretty solid at the back, and we've got some options. But the further forward you go, we really struggle. So anyone that's scoring goals, and particularly if Pat Ubin's scoring goals in the Europa League, then he has to be in Stephen Kenny's thinking. And of course, Stephen knows what he can do,
Yeah, well,
having managed him.
a few times as well.
Yeah.
Just gonna go through just through a couple of the comments there. My camera it was acting the maggot there when the goal was scored, so apologies to anyone joining.
Yeah.
I noticed Gary Rogers is not in goal. McQuarrie.
No, Aaron McCary. Yeah, interesting choice.
Christopher Harrington's having a meltdown here. You give up. Bad news. Go and ask me arse. Get your head checked. He's garbage. Holding young lads back. Influential. Oh my god. Astopolis. Mind blowing comments from you boys. Well, this fella must be an absolute genius if we are. So anyway, any decent comments? Or actually, David Salter, who always likes to get involved, says evening gents. Thomas.
Evening, David.
Sound very low on Paul. It's saying now. How about now? See, I don't normally use this mic anymore because it's normally low, and I usually use headphones because that's the case. But I think now that I'm right beside it, but I'm trying not to cover my face on the camera there if you can see it. So I'm just trying to find that. I think that might be better. While actually obviously watching the match, so it's a bit of a difficult process, but hopefully it's better now. Let me know if it's too low, because if it's too low, I'll run upstairs and I'll get the other phone and I'll just put it on the other tripod I have. But is there any decent comments that aren't just slaughtering us?
Thomas Meehan isn't too happy either. He said it's a very sad day when we worry about a centre forward who's retired at 32 with 14 caps and 1 goal. But yeah, he does make a good point. But I mean, Dizzy came to the squad quite late, and well, first of all, the goal was absolutely crucial, that equaliser against Switzerland. But it's not his goal scoring. I think we said that he brings other players into play. He can pick out a pass, and I don't think we really have anyone in that kind of number 10 role. Possibly Troy Parrott will grow into that position, but I would be struggling to see who we'd play in Dizzy's place, or maybe just play a different style going forward.
Well, he hinted at Callum Robinson and Aaron Connolly playing down the middle now, so that's probably going to be the option going forward. The only thing is I mentioned is what Dizzy brings in terms of his overall play compared to those players is that he will make things stick. Even James Collins, you remember the game away in Georgia, he didn't make it stick at all, and yeah, it's he struggled in that game, didn't he? That's the game where Aaron Connolly made his debut. So
I see he's back in the squad. He's back in the squad now, of course.
Yeah,
James Collins.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. But I still don't think he's the answer. I know he scored, which is good. He has that off his back, but
ooh, look, he escaped there.
Yeah, I know he has that off his back, but still, it's not. It's and it was against Bulgaria. I suppose you could look at it that way, but I would rather someone who's going to come in and be a regular going forward. And I think that's why he has Adam Ida in there. So I can understand that one. I think he'll still go with Adam Ida, to be honest with you. I think he'll still use him as his main striker. I think he really likes him. He went on in the press conference to say how much he really rates the strikers coming through. But then again, I would like to see Callum Robinson being played through the middle.
Yeah, I mean, Callum and Aaron Connolly are both fine players through the middle. They're different style to what Dizzy gives us. They have different qualities. So yeah, and I mean, what I was impressed with Callum Robinson was the game against Chelsea when the West Brom drew 3-3 and led 3-0. I think he scored twice, and I mean that's up against the top 6 team. So. But then he's lost his place now at West Brom, which I know he's still on the bench and getting some game time, but it's probably not a good sign, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, what else do we have really? We don't really have a whole lot. Shawnee Maguire was left out. Shane Long left out. So what else do we really have?
You see, I don't. I know there was a lot of people actually complaining about Shawnee Maguire being left out, but I don't think he's doing that well with Preston. And unfortunately, I don't think he had a great game against Finland. Um, Shane Long is not in the Southampton team, and I don't know. I mean, these players, I think they need to be playing. And so I just watched this Sean Gannon, but
Awful ball.
into the keeper's hands. Disappointment. But I think you have to be playing to really give Stephen Kenny a problem. Put your hand up and say, and then we should be screaming. I mean, if Shane Long is playing every week for Southampton and he's scoring goals, then you will have people calling for him to be in the squad, and well, you probably find he is in the squad then, because it's not as if we've got anyone. Even Adam Ida is not. He's not playing every week now with Norwich, which is disappointing
And
as well.
Connolly.
And Aaron Connolly isn't playing regularly with Brighton either.
The only one who is Callum Robinson, and I suppose I do think he should be used maybe against England as a centre forward. I think that would be a realistic thing to do. And look, it's an opportunity for a lot of them to step up to the mark because I don't feel like a lot of them have. You scored a goal against England, even if it's in a friendly, and you'll go down as a hero forever. Look, so Shane Long scored against them in Wembley. I think it was 2013, and still people talk about that goal or whatever. It's like if someone could step up to the mark on the, like Callum Robinson or something like that. I think he'll go down as a legend then. Do you know what I mean? So it's an opportunity for someone to become a legend, even though it's a friendly, and it's obviously an opportunity for someone to smash up someone like Rice or Grealish, and show. I think Malumbi will,
Yeah.
to be honest, and just show kind of that heart and just just deflected. Just show, just make sure you hit him hard and win the ball fair, and just keep doing it over and over and over again. I think Malumbi has the quality to do it to Rice if he gets near him. I'd love to see it. I think it would be brilliant. I think a lot of Irish fans would just love to see him get absolutely milked in a challenge. Not injured now, but I know
Uh,
there is some fans out there who probably would like to see that. But just fairly getting smashed up or getting nutmegged by Seamus Coleman again or something like that would be fantastic. Just to have a little laugh at him.
yeah, well, the one thing is it is a friendly, and we have two crucial Nations League games coming up after it, so you don't want to get into a war of attrition either, and have players kicking lumps out of each other.
Yeah, I don't think Stephen's that way inclined. So I don't think Stephen would be going out like Mick McCarthy would be saying, kick them off the park.
Okay.
I don't
Yeah,
think
I
Stephen
don't think
would.
it's going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen anyway. I don't see kind of anyone trying to get into Declan Rice or anything. It's probably, I don't know. So just watching this Dundalk in the box, but no, it's going to be cleared.
They're not doing anything with it though.
No.
If anyone's just joined us, by the way, Dundalk have scored and they are winning 1-0. Patrick Hooven with a header. Keeper had a howler, but they all count. And this is the second game now that Dundalk have been winning, isn't it? Because they were up 1-0 up against Molde.
Yeah, they took the lead
So
and that led at half time.
that was me and you doing that game too.
Yeah.
Good luck, Charm. Hopefully they can win it this one though.
Well, hopefully the second half. No, there was a late challenge. That's why he got the yellow card. Yeah, it's pretty bad foul on
Advantage.
Hooven. We played the advantage, I think, but he went back and gave him the yellow card. It was good refereeing.
Just Franco Brun. Brian, I imagine that is in Irish. I love the Kenny press conference. He handled the question very well. He's focused on building something positive for the future, and we have plenty of talent at the very start of their careers. Yeah, I know, but see, the problem I have is nothing to do with Stephen Kenny or anything like that. Is I look at our players, and I used to always look at Scotland and Wales and Northern Ireland, and I used to always think to myself, "Geez, thank God we are not like them." But I actually think now, except for maybe the North, I actually think all of them are better than us right now. And I never thought I'd say that. I always felt as though we always had um, a better pool of players than all of them, and we were always getting better results. But for some reason of the last year, we just haven't been getting any results. We can't score for the life of us. But I think that might change, and I think that would change if we score a couple of goals and maybe maybe get 2 wins or something like that in the next round of games. I think that mentality will totally change. And I think the group of players that we have coming through, I'm not counting them in those players when I say Northern Ireland and Wales and Scotland. But what I'm saying is, I believe that they could take us further than that in the future. I think they could take us to another level. I believe they're all winners in that group, and they all play so well together. They all love each other, and they all, they come out and say it all the time how much they love meeting up with each other to play with each other and stuff like that. And you always get a general buzz with the Irish lads that they love meeting up with each other and playing with each other. But I think that the quality of player coming through now, from that under 21 team and so on. I mean, there's a bundle of talent there, and already you could say a lot of them have made it since that Toulon tournament. You can go through a lot of them. You have Aaron Connolly, Jason Malumbi. You could say now is an established senior member. You could say he's an established member of the Ireland squad now after the last round of games. Maybe not an established member of the Brighton first team, but you have Adam Ida. You have, I suppose, if Troy wasn't injured, he'd probably be in there too. Dara O'Shea now. So there's a good few players there. He keeps on calling up Queevy and Kelleher now, which I think is a bizarre one, is actually because Kieran O'Hara, he was in the League One Team of the Week there during the week, and I think he's a good keeper. Don't know, and he's playing out of the 3 keepers that were called up. He's actually playing, and the other 3 aren't. So I thought that was a little bit bizarre, but anyway, but I think the future's bright. I'd like to see Lee O'Connor maybe move up a division next season and see how he gets on, because he's doing well at Tranmere, but I think that's League Two. Jonathan Afalabi as well, Scottish Championship. I'd like to see all these players maybe step up. Obafemi's gone backwards. I don't know what's going on with him. I would like to see him focused again. So there is players there who, if they get their head right, they can be serious players for us. And I do think Ida eventually will come really good. And I think he'll be our main man in a few years. I did say that before, I think, on a previous show.
Yeah, you made a good point about Jay Malumbi. I think he may well be in our starting midfield. He probably would be in my team, to be honest. But it's a bit concerning. He's not even getting near the
Oh, what a
Brighton.
goal.
Oh no! Oh no!
1-1.
Yeah,
I don't know, is the keeper off
22nd
for
minute.
this goal here? I have to see the replay. You go on
Yeah.
anyway with what you're saying, and we'll
So yeah, no. So I just thought it's a bit concerning. He's getting nowhere near the Brighton team, particularly when he's played so well for us. I think he probably will be in the starting 11 for the certainly the competitive games. I'm not sure what's going to happen with the England friendly. It's quite a long way out. Decent shot. Oh yeah,
went
it's not.
straight at him.
Yeah, he should be stopping that. I mean, it just went in over his head.
Here, keeper. You need to. The replay doesn't help anybody there, I don't think, either. But in the keeper's defence, oh, he's giving it away here
Oh no,
now.
give it away again.
Oh, he looks nervous, McCrary.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably a surprise. I thought Gary Rogers had been playing very well, despite. I mean, what age is Gary Rogers now? Is he 39? I think, but he's still a fine keeper.
Yeah, he made some brilliant
Um,
saves the other day
yeah,
in Richmond Park. He was fantastic. This looks like a totally different Dundalk to the team I was watching on Saturday in Richmond Park. In a good way. They just look miles better in Europe than they do in the League of Ireland. But sorry, just to go back to your point on Malumbi there, I think you're bang on that. I don't understand how he's not getting into the team. I don't think their midfield's that great. Like, I know they've got Lallana and stuff like that. I think as the season goes on, if he gets a couple more minutes, it'll be up to him then to impress, or go out on loan in January to probably Millwall and help them surge up the table, and try and get them promoted. Because I know how much he wanted to get them promoted last season when the first lockdown came around. So I would envision him probably going there if he doesn't get any more minutes, and I know he was close to doing it because it was reported in the Independent. And if anyone's asking, this is not actually a Dundalk jersey. This is actually my football team. The jersey was just so nice, I actually ended up getting one. So it's actually quite similar to they have a legacy jersey. I think it's quite similar. I think the crest is only different. So just wearing this for a bit of a good luck charm. That's all. Oh, any other comments there? Hang on.
One from David Salter there. Will I put this one up?
Connor Ronan, is it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a good shout, actually. Conor Ronan has looked. I've seen Conor Ronan with the underage, and yeah, he is a good shout for the number 10 role. And yeah, it's interesting. He's playing in Switzerland now, isn't it? In Zurich,
Yeah.
and that'll be. He's probably a player that's suited to the continental style of football, and maybe just get a bit more time on the ball, etc. No, to be honest, I don't know whether he's actually playing week in,
He
week
is. He's
out, and
getting
how they're
he was
doing.
getting assists
Is
and
he good?
stuff there
Okay.
recently.
Oh, very good. Okay.
Yeah,
So
he's
yeah,
doing well. I don't know what they I don't know where they are in the league or whatever, but he's doing well. Didn't he get a new contract with Wolves there recently too? So, um, I think he is highly rated by Wolves, and I think that maybe next season he might start getting a look in there. And if he doesn't, I'd say he'll probably go to a championship team or something like that. But then again, what's the need for him to go to a championship club now? Because he has been to, Europe. He's been to it was Slovakia and now is it Switzerland or Austria?
Switzerland. I think it's Switzerland, isn't it? I
It's
think
one
he's
of
in Zurich.
Grasshopper
Yeah.
FC Zurich. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, he's over in those two countries. So there's not, like even Dutch football or something like that. If he doesn't make it in the Wolves team, but look, I still think he can, and I'd love to see him. I think he's exactly the type of player that we lack. He's in the kind of Wes Hoolahan mold, and yeah, I think someone mentioned in the comments earlier about players being picked far too late. I don't think Kenny will do that. I think Kenny will bring in players if they're performing to a standard. I was surprised that actually Jason Knight was left out of the squad, Gary, to be honest with you, when I seen that.
Yeah, and now there may be the thinking that the under 21s have two absolutely massive games, and if they can beat Iceland at home and win away to Luxembourg, they qualify for the finals. It will be our first ever under 21 finals, and Jason Knight's a key player for them.
Yeah,
And they've
I would
already
say that.
lost. They've lost. I mean, the names you talked about, the Darrow O'Shea's, the Jay Malumbys, the Aaron Connolly's. I mean, potentially they're going to be in our starting lineup for Wales and Bulgaria anyway. But certainly they're crucial members of the under 21 squad that had done so well earlier in the campaign. So I think to take Jason Knight out as well maybe have been very harsh. But I don't know. Maybe that was in Stephen's thinking.
Maybe, possibly. But again, like you still look at the strength and depth that we have there. You still have players like Josh Cullen and stuff like that who was, didn't get called back in. Darrell Horgan got called back in because obviously Stevens worked with him and stuff like that. But then there's players who were called in like Ryan Manning and players like that. I was surprised that Ronan Curtis came in as well. So there's a couple of players on the squad list that I was a bit surprised about. Like I'm not unhappy about it or anything like that, and I hope Ronan turns up and does well and maybe scores a goal here or there. That would be nice and get his international career up and running properly. But I would like to see him step up to the championship. I think he's spending too long in League One, and I don't want him to kind of get sucked into a little hole there. So I would like to see him step up to the championship. I think he's had offers and stuff like that, and I would like to see him step it up a level again. There's a big gulf in class between League One and international football. You're playing the very best of every country against each other, so it's a massive
Yeah.
jump in standard. And I don't need to tell you, Gary. You know yourself, but players need to be playing as high a level as
I
we can.
think, yeah. I mean, I think the championship is okay because the championship is actually a very strong league. But I think if you're going below the championship in England, it's I don't know. We're really maybe struggling for players. I mean, and it's probably up to the players themselves. Now, Ronan Curtis could well. I think Portsmouth had a fantastic win away to the league leaders there, or one of the promotion rivals the other night. So he could well get promotion with them, which of course is one way to get into the championship, maybe the best way.
Oh, great ball.
Chance
Come
here,
on,
go on,
Human. Or Duffy.
Michael Duffy.
Oh,
Oh, straight at the keeper.
hit the
What
defender's
a great
leg.
chance. Yeah, still a poor effort when he
Yeah, he's
because it hit
another
the
one
defender.
who people have been calling for to get a cap, but he's not really showing the form in which he probably can to warrant a call up. I think he's a great lad, and I would love to see him one day get capped because he's a great lad. But being a great lad doesn't really get you capped, if you know what I mean. And I'm not saying that in any bad way or anything like that because I really do like him as a player. But another just kind of while we're on that topic of kind of players, playing at a certain level and be struggling to make it into the Ireland team. I think Jack Byrne kind of falls into that category. Got called up again. He'll be there for the Wales and Bulgaria game. Won't be there for the England game. You could just see the difference last night. I don't know. Did you watch the game last night against Pats?
No, I was actually watching Piedmont United, so I didn't see Rovers and Pats.
Yeah, shout out to the P's because they done really, really
Oh,
well. Only lost on
yeah,
penalties, and I know you were covering the
superb,
games there.
absolutely superb. They were. Oh, I mean, they're an amateur team up against full-time professionals, and to go the whole way to the 120 minutes and then just to lose it, and not just in penalties, to lose it in the sudden death penalties to shootout, and another heartbreaker for an Irish side on penalties with Bowes going out in the Europa League, and obviously, do I have to mention the playoff against Slovakia? But yeah, so well done to the Peas and superb performance, and it's just a shame that they couldn't do it. And anyway, if they were actually another thing I was thinking last night, if the game was in Tallaght Stadium instead of in Glasgow, they could well have beaten them.
Yeah, yeah, but see, the thing I was saying about Tallaght with Jack is he came on after like 23 minutes. I don't know what the story is with Graham Burke. He wasn't injured or anything like that. Maybe it was just a change of tactics. I don't know. But Jack was on 22 minutes, and I know you've been to a lot of games and you'd see Jack. He's very vocal. He doesn't actually shut. He doesn't actually shut the fuck up. To be honest with you, on the pitch, I would
Right.
say he's a nightmare to play with, and you have. He normally never leaves Aaron McInniff alone. Actually, I kind of feel sorry for him. He's like,
Oh,
give me
I
the
think
ball, give me the ball, give me the ball, and then last night he didn't actually. He barely spoke, but he let he let the ball do the talking. And there was this one point where Jamie Lennon, who's a good Ireland under-21 international for Pats, and he got too tight for him, and Jack just one touch, drag back, nuts, and then a through ball to Aaron Green, which was unbelievable. And Aaron Green probably should have put it away. Eventually, he gave away a foul in the end, but just the ball, like if he had just shot first time, he probably would have scored. But just the ball that he put through to him was unbelievable, and yeah, he's just operating at a different level, and he was probably only at 50% last night, to be honest. And I know people have been reporting that Rovers have offered him a new contract and stuff like that. So we'll be interested to see what he does there. Does he feel like he's done enough? That's a good ball there. Flores is onside.
Yeah.
Oh, and he
Mm.
gives it into a good area. No one attacking
It's
it
a good
though.
area, just no one attacking the ball. Yeah.
Yeah, but sorry. Then where was it? So yeah, will Jack be thinking I've done enough for this club now? Maybe get them some cash for me and move on, or does he just? I think if his contract's running out, he could just go. I don't think he'd do that though. I think he would like to see the club get some money from him if he did go. Anyway, I'm purely speculating here because I haven't heard anything concrete or anything. I've heard like clubs like Colorado Rapids and stuff have been interested. I think Dan McDonald did an article on it, but that's all I've really heard. Great defendant Daniel Cleary.
Yeah. No, the thing
What's your
is,
kind of views on it, Gar?
well, I think Jack is the best player in the league. I think he's superb to watch, and one of the things that would be an absolute travesty is if he does leave the league when no fans are still allowed back. That many people won't get the chance to actually to go and watch him. And Rovers have said they've made him a fantastic offer, so it's probably down to Jack himself. Yeah, there's been a lot of speculation. He's also someone who's been very happy at home. It's there's a lot to be said for people who are happy living he's a Dublin lad to be living at home, and I don't know. I think he'd be a massive loss for Shamrock Rovers. But go
Oh,
on. Oh,
I think not
so
only a massive loss for Shamrock Rovers, but I think he'd be a massive loss for the league. Like I put up a post there today on our Instagram. I put it out on all the platforms really, but just how he has an element of class about him is that everybody who was standing around covering and getting videos and getting pictures of the players celebrating, he went out of his way. All the players were standing there and they were lifting the cup and they were having champagne and the usual what they do when you win a league or a cup. And he stepped out. He came along to everybody and fist pumped everybody. Thank you, thank you, thanks so much, thank you to everybody that was there. And and I'm not saying that the rest of the players should have done this or anything like that. It's the fact that he didn't have to do it, but he did it anyway. And I'm not sure if you were at the press conference before in where was it? It was in Abbottstown, and he came up to everybody before the press conference. He was in there with Sean Maguire, and he shook everybody's hand. It was just a real touch of class. As soon as he
okay,
walked in the room, he walked around the room in Abbottstown, and he shook everybody's hand, and then sat down, and then took questions with Sean Maguire. And this is just certain things you can't buy that type of class. And then there was a guy as well who was suffering mentally, I think with the lockdown, stuff like that, had just been down, and I think Conan Byrne put him in touch with, or put Jack in touch with him, and he rang him up, and that was actually the guy that was in that picture, and he was spending about 5 minutes just chatting to him, seeing how he was and stuff like that. And I just think that if you take away someone like that, who is a very big ambassador for the league, like you look at his social media and stuff like that, like he does get a lot of brands wanting to work with him and stuff like that. You'd have that EJ Menswear, I think they're in Sligo, and they did like an ad, a cool little ad with him and stuff like that. And there's a lot there to be tapped into if the right people want to actually tap into it. And I think he should be the poster boy, and the people and the powers that be in Irish football should be doing everything they can to keep a hold of him, because of he's so liked. He's even so liked by the Irish national squad. They all love him. They all think he's the
yeah,
funniest thing ever. Not only that, they obviously really appreciate his footballing ability. So he does offer so much to Irish football. I think that he should be. A lot of people should be doing everything they can to try and help him, and think, or try and keep him here. Because if they can't do that, they should be bringing better players to the league to drive up the standards. So then players like Jack don't have to feel like they have to move away to then get called up and play for Ireland on the regular. Because he probably still will get called up, but he probably won't be a regular till he, as they always say, that magic flight to England happens. Look
so,
at Graham Burke. He's still actually contracted by Preston, like.
okay.
So you know what I mean. So it's just about a matter of either surround them with good players or better players in the league, or
If you look at the Shamrock Rovers side, I mean, they can pick 5 or 6 internationals now at the moment, though. So
yeah. But
Jack is the
in a way,
standout.
yes.
But I mean, that's well, Graham Burke. You mentioned Alan Manus,
Yeah, but
Danny
still, you know, you
Lafferty,
can just
Pico.
go.
He's still a fine keeper.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not saying that,
Pico
but look at
Lopez.
look at the difference
Yeah.
when they came up against Milan. Like even
Oh,
the
but
difference
Milan,
in their body athlete
yeah, but
wise.
yeah, Paul. But Milan. I mean, Milan are one of the top teams in Europe. I mean, they're winning Serie A at the moment. I mean, it's we're not we're not going to be at. We're quite a long way off the Milan levels, and
Oh,
header just wide there. And even, I mean, even the Premier League. You're looking at Arsenal, like Arsenal Dundalk last week. Uh, but it's probably a case of improving our league to compete with other leagues in Europe. And I mean, Rapid Vienna are quite a distance off Milan as well. It's so I don't know. I mean, Rovers have done, I think, everything they can do to keep Jack, and hopefully it works. It probably depends on what other offers are out there. I mean, if he gets the chance to go to a Premier League club, I think he'll go. Um, I don't know. I mean, I really hope he stays, because he's someone in the league that you'd actually pay just to go and watch on his own. It's actually worth going to watch Jack Byrne play. And I don't think there's anyone else. I'm struggling to think of anyone else in the league. And I'm not saying the likes of Pat Hooban and Michael Duffy are not fine players, but there's nobody in that Dundalk side you'd say, I just want to pay in and just go and watch them play. Whereas Jack Byrne is just something. He's exciting. He gets on the ball. He's great to watch. He picks out some superb passes. He can run with the ball, and he's worth the admission fee on his own. And I'm struggling to think of anyone else in the league.
Chris Forrester on his day.
On his day in the past, definitely, and Danny Mandrew maybe last season with Bose, but not so much
No,
anyone.
you raised a good argument.
Yeah.
To be fair.
So,
if there's anyone in the comments there, and you can think of someone who's worth the admission fee on his own just to go and watch, let us know in the comments. I think Joey Endo would have been one, obviously back.
Absolutely, Joey Endo would have been in his day. Absolutely, yeah, he was a great player.
Yeah, and he was international with Cameroon too.
Yeah, went to 2 World Cups with him. So
Dundalk here are really under the cosh here, aren't they?
Yeah, just one comment from Owen O'Leary, who did pick up on the fact I mentioned the penalty losses. He did mention that Dundalk and Shamrock Rovers both had great wins. Obviously, Dundalk, the crucial one in Moldova, and Shamrock Rovers Ilves, the game I was actually at, which was a fantastic night. So yes, and John Fallon actually had a piece in the Examiner on it, the highs and lows of penalties. These past few weeks for Irish clubs and the national team. So yeah, it's a good shout out to say that there were 2 great nights for Dundalk and Shamrock Rovers, but unfortunately not so good for Bowes, Peamount, and really unfortunately for our national team in the playoff semi-final.
And Derry.
Oh no, Derry lost in extra time, wasn't it?
Oh, I thought you were just going off teams that lost. Sorry.
Oh no, sorry. I think it's just the penalty shootouts. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
David Salter reckons Danny Grant is a player worth.
He came into my thinking, but not quite just yet. If he keeps performing at the level he's been at recently, then yes. For me.
Another comment we missed actually earlier on was Dundalk Fan TV were asking, what result do you think Dundalk can get? I'd be thrilled if they could get a draw. If this stays 1-1, I think it'd be a fantastic result. And it'd be nice to get something. Yeah, I'd be happy with 1-1, maybe 2-2 then as well. But it'd be nice to get it. It'd be great if Dundalk could win, but I think getting a result would be good. Just getting a point on the board.
I'd love to see Dundalk win. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to see them get a 2-1 win or something. Here's a free kick over the bar or wide.
Yeah.
But they're holding their own here, I have to say. So I mean, I'm not. They are under the cosh at the moment, but that's not to say that they can't go down the other end and score a goal.
Well, Mickey Duffy had a great chance to make it 2-1. So they're definitely in it now. Rapid have had a couple of chances as well. But Dundalk don't look out of place,
Yeah, just kind of on the fact, I suppose we can't really do this without talking about Shamrock Rovers, and obviously they lifted the trophy last night. What were your get rid of it? Well done, Gano.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on them overall during the season? Because I thought they were unbelievable. Every game except for the Shelbourne game, I watched them this season. They were unbelievable.
Well, nobody's is unbelievable every game, so you certainly forgive them for a couple of off days. I mean, they're worthy champions without a shadow of a doubt. They've been the best team.
Great save.
Oh no, good save by McCarry there and a free out.
Yeah.
Without a shadow of a doubt, they're worthy champions. They're the best team in the league. They're unbeaten. And I mean, I saw some people on Twitter saying there should be an asterisk around their title. Absolutely not. They have been the best team. They have been deserved champions. And I think, Paul, we can go back to the night in Tala before lockdown. When they beat Dundalk 3-2. We felt at the time, we were both there, we felt at the time it was very significant. And it proved to be. And there's no question they're worthy champions. And they're probably going to kick on, even if they do lose Jack, and I hope they don't. I'd actually expect them to kick on, and they'll probably sign a few players in the off season, and they'll be even better next season.
Oh,
And I think
impacted early.
they'll try to make an impact in Europe as well. With the new European competition, getting into the Champions League is just so big for our champions, because if you can win, you could end up with 6, 8 games, and group stage football is much more attainable now, and as the champions. So it's a great opportunity for Shamrock Rovers next season, and but for this season, they've been the best team. They've been deserved champions. I don't think anyone can question that. Bows have had a great season, but if anything, I think Bows have overachieved, given they're on part-time players, and Keith Long has done a fantastic job, and they have been the second best team. But it probably, the only downside for Bows is I think they'd be absolutely delighted in a normal year, but they'd much prefer to be second to Dundalk than second to Rovers, obviously. So it may stick in their craw a bit, even though they've had an absolutely fantastic season, to end up runners up to Rovers.
Yeah.
But the league table doesn't lie. I mean, it rarely lies. I mean, you can be lucky, you can win a cup, but if you finish top of the table at the end of the season, and Rovers won it with a few games to spare, so I don't think there's any argument to the best team.
See, when your headphones are shaking there, it's like slapping. It sounds like you're typing
Okay.
on a keyboard.
Okay.
I think Jerry Brown has a question. I think that's Jer. He has a question for you. I think it's Jer. I'm not sure. It looks like a boy band in the picture.
Yeah. The best ever result by an Irish side in Europe.
Shells.
Yeah. I'm probably going to say Shell's Hajduk split, but I know I'll come up because I know Dundalk Bate is going to come in there as well.
I'm just biased there, so that's just me being biased.
Yeah, I mean, to me, and I was at the game in Talca. That Shell's knocking Hajduk split out the Croatian champions. To me, that's the best ever. And when I mean result, I'm talking about a tie. I'm not talking about one-off games when the games have been dead, because I know Cork City will probably pipe in and say they drew with Bayern Munich. Drumcondra actually beat Bayern Munich. Shamrock Rovers came incredibly close to knocking out Bayern Munich in 1966, and Bayern Munich went on to win the European Cup Winners' Cup that season. There were, I think, 5 or 6.
Didn't UCD nearly beat Everton in '84?
They did. 84, UCD drew 0-0 in Talca, and they lost 1-0, and they were losing 1-0 late in the game, and Joe Hanrahan went through on goal and unfortunately blazed the ball uh, off target. But had that gone in, it was 1-1. UCD were throwing away goals. That was a fantastic UCD side that won the cup in 1984. And yeah, that was a superb performance. But you have to go on a side that wins a tie. So I know St. Pat's had some great wins against the Russians. Krylia Sovetov, wasn't it? And they beat Elfsborg. Derry City beat Gothenburg home and away. Derry actually went to Scotland and inflicted a then record home defeat for Scottish sides in Europe when they beat Gretna 5-1. I think Tottenham took that record off them, but I think Malmo took it since. But anyway, I mean, so there have been some fantastic performances, and people are going to shout out for their own clubs. I know that. Bows knocking out Aberdeen as well, another good win in Scotland. But I mean, the Hajduk split were a different level to Aberdeen. and I mean the Aberdeen that Bowes beat, or the Aberdeen today, not the team that was the 1980s, which obviously was were a top European side. But so I would go for Shell's Hajduk split. I don't know, Paul. You're probably going to agree with me, given I mentioned Shell's.
Gary, to be honest with you, I was at the game and I'd never seen anything like it at the time. Talca was packed to the rafters. I was there with, I'd say, 4 or 5 of my best mates. My dad, my uncle, my cousin, we were all there, and just the win, and then the way in which to win it at the end with Alan Moore getting the goal. It just was the icing on the cake, and it was brilliant. The Shells were on a European adventure, and all the hype and hysteria around the country then and around the League of Ireland was brilliant. And I think that Shells team, for me, would would give it to any League of Ireland team ever. I think they were that good. They almost had a 2 players for every position. They were that good. And I look at teams like Dundalk and Rovers now and stuff like that, who have squads like that, but I still think they're a while away from the dominance, and probably wish that Chelsea team were up against a Bowes team that were really good every year. There was always 3 or 4 challengers. It wasn't really 1 or 2. That's why I think that they were a slight bit better. But again, I'm being biased. But I just thought what they showed in Europe and the players in which they were bringing in, like Alan Moore, Joseph Doe, they had Jason Byrne, Glenn Crowe, um,
Dave Rogers, who got the first goal. I mean, he was a fine player, you know.
yeah, Stuart Byrne.
Joey Byrne's a great player. Yeah, that's
There was just so many. You had Jamie Harris. There was just so many good players in that team. Colin Hawkins then came in as well. Richie Baker as well. There was just so many good players in and around that period of time. I know they didn't play that game. Glenn Fitzpatrick. Um, but it was just such a good time to be a Shells fan. So for me, that result sticks out. But the question was aimed at you, so I'm not going to go on any more about it. But for me, it's Shells against Hajduk Split, yeah.
yeah. I suppose Gerald mentioned I was actually another one I was at was Pats in Elfsborg, which was a fantastic night because I think the Elfsborg manager had been very uncomplimentary about Pats and said we were 15 years behind Elfsborg, and Pats, I think, drew was a 2-2 in Sweden and then beat them 2-1 in Richmond Park, and it was a fantastic night in Richmond Park, brilliant atmosphere. Up there with Shells and Hajduk, because I was actually at that and I was jumping up around celebrating, even though I'm not a Shells fan. Obviously, it was a special night, as you say, Paul. It must have been even more special as a Shells fan. You talked about great teams. Actually, I will go back to arguably one of the best teams in the league that I've seen. The most dominant team was the Shamrock Rovers team in the mid '80s, the Jim McLaughlin 4-in-a-row team. And probably a little disappointing that they didn't really do it in Europe. They came close, but and of course you only had one chance in those days. And if you lost, you were out. They were up against a really strong Linfield team in 1984, and it was absolutely 2 cracking matches. And they went out in the away goals rule. And for the last 20 minutes in Milltown, Rovers were absolutely battering them, but they just couldn't score. They played Celtic a couple of years later, and again in Milltown it was 0-0. Celtic got a very late goal, but Rovers should have won that night. They were up against a really good Honved side as well, and but again played pretty well. And Shamrock Rovers, Partizan Belgrade, yeah, that's a great shout actually as well. Particularly they went to Belgrade and did it to qualify for the group stages. Yeah. Kieran Orr saying the Derry treble side was good. Yeah, it was, and it was actually a lot of the same players that won the 4-in-a-row with Shamrock Rovers, because Jim McLaughlin went back to his native Derry and took the likes of Noel Larkin, who else? Noel King. Who else was on that treble team? They had the likes of Pascal Vaudequin as well. That was a superb side, that Derry team. But I think the Rovers won for the longevity that they did win 4 leagues and 3 cups as well. I mean, 3 doubles, and lost the other cup final to UCD after a replay. But as you said, that Shells and the Great Bows team you mentioned in the early part of this century, they were very dominant. Probably, I would say the league is probably despite Dundalk in the last couple of years and Shamrock Rovers this year, has probably gone a little bit backwards maybe in recent years. I don't think Dundalk are as good as maybe the Dundalk of 2016. I don't know, Dundalk fans, what are your thoughts on this? Um, and I'm not sure if Shamrock Rovers are as good yet as the Michael O'Neill. I might be a bit harsh. Just gone through and won a league unbeaten. But the Michael O'Neill team that had that fantastic win over Partizan, won a couple of leagues in a row. I thought that side actually were going to go on and dominate Irish football for quite a few years to come. And this is actually the first title since then.
Just showing a replay of the goal here from behind
Yeah,
the goal.
it's quite a long way out.
Straight at him.
Yeah, no, he should have done better.
I mean, what's he thinking? Is it going over? How does he not get his hand on it? Like,
Yeah, maybe give it a check on the other results. And
I know Rangers are winning 2-1 and Benfica have a man sent off.
yeah, I saw that coming up in the comments. Roma 3-0 up on Cluj at half time. Yeah, Rangers are still 2-1 up at half time. And
Hope they lose.
Hapoel Beersheva and Bayer Leverkusen are drawn 2-2 in Israel at half time. And Slavia Prague are beating Nice 2-1. And Lech Poznan are beating Standard Liège 2-1 at half time as well.
Spurs are 2 up.
Okay. Granada are 1 up in Nicosia. And PSV Eindhoven are beating PAOK 1-0 in Greece. Real Sociedad and Alkmaar is 0-0. And Rijeka and Napoli is 1-1. Yeah, Spurs 2 up in Bulgaria. And Sivasspor are 1 up against Karabag in Turkey.
Karabag, they played Dundalk last year.
Yeah.
Here's the Michael Duffy chance. He's running at the moment like he's a lot of weights on his back. He just looks mad slow, stuck in the mud, Michael Duffy.
Yeah, that was a great chance. I think he should have done a lot better. I mean, he just kind of rolled it, whether the defender's leg or the keeper's leg blocked it, but it was straight at them anyway. And
So David Salt is asking for the all-time League of Ireland 11, but I think that's going to be too hard to do between the two.
yeah, we'd probably end up forgetting a lot of people as well on it. It's
we won't do it tonight, David, but we'll do it another night. We're going to actually
yeah,
have to
maybe
do the League of Ireland team of the season next week anyway, so that's something that we'll have to do for sure.
yeah, maybe do a show, get maybe Ger and Paul Tierney on as well, and come up with an all-time League of Ireland 11 between us.
Yeah. Will you be pulling up all the older players like you did on the
Okay.
Ireland one? And we'll be saying no.
So
But that's just I think that's just a recency
yeah.
bias though too.
Yeah, it is really. I mean, it's probably natural to the you're probably drawn to the not. I suppose not so much even recency, but you're drawn to the players that you more fondly remember, and maybe it's the ones you associate with your younger days when they were your heroes, etc.
Yeah, well, Seamus Coleman didn't get into it, and that would
So
have been real recency bias. Like,
yeah,
Owen Kane says, "Hi Paul, I love you." Thanks, Owen. Not many people other than my nephew tell me that they love me, so
okay.
thank you very much, and I hope you're having a great day. There's no Callum Crossan says that Duffy should have scored, and yes, he should have.
Yeah, it's a great chance.
Just in from doing a 5k run there as well, so I feel great. Do you know what, Gary? To be honest with you, the first half flew in there. I mean, before I knew it was half time, it really went quick.
Yeah, we probably should have maybe commented a bit more on the game instead of chatting about everything else. But
well, it's something that we haven't been chatting about, and people are, I think, enjoying the fact that we're talking about different things, because there has been a few things in the last couple of days that we haven't been able to talk about, and now we have another 21 squad as well tomorrow for Jim Crawford as well, so that's going to be interesting as well. I'm on a press conference with him tomorrow. I must get you on that actually if you want. And then I have to meet. Yeah, I have to do that meeting with them at. I don't even know what time he's on, but I'll see if I can try and get you on that if you want.
Okay.
I'll let you know. Shane Duffy's starting for Celtic against Sparta Praha. Yeah, I have the details here, so I can email that to you there now. Forward the email to you, okay?
Okay.
It's on
Yeah, it's good.
12.
Yeah, it's good to see Shane Duffy starting as well. I mean, he
Every
has
game.
been he has played every game, and because unfortunately we were talking about earlier about all the players that are not playing on a regular basis. So yeah, I know Shane hasn't had the best of starts at Celtic, and but it's good to see that he's still in the team and playing regular football because he's an absolutely crucial player for us.
Yeah, well, Neil Lennon came out and backed him anyway, so I think Neil Lennon, I don't think, has lost faith in him. Players go through phases of good form and bad form, and to be fair, since he joined Brighton in 2016 or whenever that was, he just went up ridiculous levels and became the most important player for the Irish team for a few years. Like, I think many people would agree with that. I mean, he did win Player of the Year twice, I'm sure. Um, that's how. And look, everybody's afraid of him in the box. Everybody talks about how dangerous Shane Duffy is in the opposition's box, and defensively he was pretty sound the last, definitely since Euro 2016. Like, he's been a mainstay with
Yeah,
Richard Keogh, and they've had a really good defensive record. Now John Egan's come in, so I actually think they have a better partnership now. Um, the best thing that we have there is our defense. I think if Seamus is back there too, playing with Shane Duffy, if Seamus continues the form he's been showing with Everton this season, he'll be brilliant. I think alongside Duffy, because they're good, they're great mates. They obviously played together at Everton, and then sorry, Celtic came on there. It just put me off for a sec because I was thinking, why are they
yeah,
showing Celtic came and not Dundalk?
that's okay.
But no, I think with Egan then beside him, I think they played together at youth level as well. And then obviously Egan and Stevens playing together at Sheffield United has that. So between the four of them, they all have that kind of similarity, which is really good. And look, I do think that Matt Doherty is in danger of being dropped because he didn't show a whole level. And I don't blame him as well, like not showing a whole level, because we don't have the same players that Wolves or Spurs have to allow him to probably get the best out of him. But Stephen Kenny said that the two of them probably would have started against Slovakia if he had a full strength team. He said that today, so that's interesting.
Okay. Yeah, and I will make one point about Shane Duffy. I know that people have said it as well. I mean, when he's playing for us, he's probably normally in a team that defend reasonably deep, and which had been the way with Brighton. I mean, Brighton had been relegation candidates, or certainly probably a bottom half Premier Division team, and they're normally under the cosh. Um, I know we've tried to play a different style of football now, playing a higher line and pass the ball a lot more. I mean, he's moved to Scotland, and whatever about in the Europa League, probably week in, week out for Celtic, apart from against Rangers, I presume. Celtic are probably defending on the halfway line, and they're um, pounding the opposition because what Celtic come up against in Scotland when they play the likes of Ross County, Livingston, etc., is they stick 10 men behind the ball and hope for a point. And I think Shane can get caught out then with that style of defending if these teams break away, and it can it can make different styles of player look bad because Shane is very much a defender as opposed to a ball playing John Stones type centre half or something like that. So I'm glad Neil Lennon has defended him, and I hope he does play and continue to play every week because we need Shane. We need as many people as possible in our squad playing week in, week out uh, at whatever level they're at. See, the second half is just back on there.
Yeah, I'm What are you laughing at?
I'm just looking at one of the comments. I don't know if you want to put it up from
Oh, from
Sean
Sean
Barrett
Barrett.
there. Yeah.
Oh, she's only having a bit of crack. I think he's been on before. I think he was on. I think he was on the last one we did, and he was commenting. Seems like a nice enough lad. I think he's just messing.
Comment there.
Unless it's Graham Barrett's son, who was chatting to me last night at the Rovers game. It's funny because they have Stephen Bradley's a young lad, Aaron Green's a young lad, Graham Barrett's a young lad, and I think there's one more of them, and they're just funny. That obviously Green is young for this. The fella got this Zlatan jersey, and they were all talking to me about. Obviously, they were like, "Oh, Rovers are the best," you know. They were just funny little kids. You know what I mean? And you wouldn't have known that they were all their kids. I think McPhail's young fella as well was one of the other ones as well. And they're all around the same age. They're just gassed the way they all go around, and they're just fanboys completely like Jack Brewer and stuff. You know, when they were winning the trophy, they were like Jacko. I just think they're gassed. They're very funny.
Okay. One comment going back to Shane Duffy, actually, Kieran Orr is a comment. He says Brighton play expansive football, which is the problem for Shane because he's always played in defensive setups. It's a good point, actually. Yeah, Graham Potter has probably changed the Brighton style of play very much so, and they probably don't sit as deep as they used to, and that may well be why he let Shane go out on loan. So yeah, it probably doesn't. It doesn't suit Shane. I think Shane would probably be happier defending in a Mick McCarthy style. He was probably a very much even a Mick McCarthy style centre half as well, and probably defending more than, let's say, maintaining a high line and trying to pass the ball, bring it out from the back, etc. But yeah, I think Kieran is spot on there with Brighton.
That looks better, doesn't it?
So
So just fix it around the camera. It's wrecking
sure.
me head. Um, yeah, I think with Duffy, I think he'll leave Brighton. I think he'll finish at Celtic. He'll hopefully win 10 in a row at Celtic, and then he'll leave and go to probably another Premier League team who, like a West Brom or something like that, who do play defensive type football, which might not be a bad thing if he's playing alongside someone like Darragh O'Shea, who I think has gone up in levels all the time. I think he's going to be a super player. I really like Dara, and you see how good he was
Yeah.
against who was it, Finland he played, and he just didn't look out of place at all.
Oh, he was superb against Finland. We were talking about that in the watch along. Yeah, he had a great game. Yeah, West Brom's a good shout for someone like Shane because I think, and he would be a great addition to a team uh, like a West Brom, a Burnley, that
Oh, Burnley would be a great move for him now, actually.
yeah
Yeah,
that need to battle. I mean, with all due respects to these clubs, I think uh, they're doing well. I don't think I'm really insulting West Brom with saying they're probably a bottom six, bottom eight Premier Division club just trying to establish themselves, stay in the Premier League. Burnley be absolutely the same. Sean Dyche has done a fantastic job there, and it's a very tough place to go and get a result. And so, yeah, somebody like Shane, who's got Shane's qualities, a really good defender. And if you're looking at some of the defending in the Premier League this season, they could do with more defenders in some of these clubs. And I know there's a big focus on bringing the ball out from the back and passing the ball around, but your first job as being a defender has been stop the ball going in. And maybe too many clubs are focused on guys who can really pass the ball very well, as opposed to guys who get the blocks in, who stop the ball, get the head in the cross, and just his defending becoming a lost art in some cases.
I think so. Um, what I mean by that is so many teams just want to play out from the back now, and everyone wants to play beautiful football. And as you say, the art of defending and getting up, winning the ball, winning the battles with your man, the one on ones and stuff like that. That's what it's all about. A striker and a defender, the battle that they'd have throughout the game. That's just it is something that's slowly going away. Like you look at someone like Sergio Ramos, who's that type of defender, who's just horrible, but you'd want him in your team because he's an absolute winner.
Yeah.
I think Duffy's like that, but not like Ramos. Sorry, it's probably a bad example, but I just mean as though like Ramos is a proper centre back. I think I think Duffy is your no nonsense old fashioned centre back who will win everything in the air and put you into rosette as well. And I think with Ireland been a good way to play him, but maybe since Stevens came in, it hasn't been the best way to play him, if that makes sense. And uh,
Well,
as well as
Stephen's
that,
he's trying to bring the ball out from the back as well. I mean, it is changing the style of play because I mean, under Mick, we were the Burnley or the West Brom, and the focus was on having good defenders. Whereas I think there's a lot more focus now on passing the ball, bringing the ball out from the back, and it probably doesn't suit Shane. Maybe a tongue twister there.
yeah, but as well as that, there's a pressure on him now when he goes to Celtic that he's there to win every game as well. So I think that hasn't helped him. He's came from usually a team like at Everton, he wasn't really getting in the team or expected to win every game he was playing. Probably actually wasn't when he got to Brighton. Probably was when he was at Blackburn. So it hasn't been that many clubs he's been at where he's been expected to win every single game he plays, whether it's in Europe or whether it's in um, the league. And because he hasn't set the world alight after a couple of games, even though he started the first few games really well, had a couple of poor mistakes. I think he's missing his dad, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that hasn't helped the situation. Obviously, his father passing, and I think that's had a huge effect on him. And I just think he's been lacking in a bit of confidence as well. Just with all those, all since the last lockdown, I think a lot has happened in his life, and I think sometimes people need to take that into consideration before absolutely battering him online. Because I know a lot of Celtic fans were hammering him, and I don't think that's right as well. I do think footballers are humans at the end of the day, and they're not immune to criticism, but some of the criticism is over the top in cases.
Yeah, I mean, part of the problem with Glasgow, I mean, with Rangers or Celtic, you're in a bit of a goldfish bowl there, and yeah, you're spot on about expecting to win every game, and I suppose every mistake gets magnified then as well. And when you're in a situation with what very much is, I mean, one of them is going to win the league virtually every year. I know it's been Celtic for the last 9, but I can't remember. You're back into the 1980s, is it? Since Aberdeen, Dundee United won it. Um,
Probably, yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I'm struggling now. Maybe I've forgotten one, but as far as I know, it's pretty much Rangers or Celtic every year now, and for the foreseeable future, it will be that way as well. And yeah, so any mistake Shane makes is kind of magnified then. Um, but the point I made as well about Celtic defending in the halfway line in a lot of these games, and Shane can get caught out. Then there's a lot more space there to get in behind. It's probably space you wouldn't get if you were playing Brighton or the old Brighton, not so much Graham Potter's Brighton. And you certainly wouldn't get that space with Mick McCarthy's Ireland as well. And actually, Stephen Kenny has tightened up quite a lot at the back as well in the last window. But yeah, so there are different expectations and a lot more pressure, and obviously it's terrible to see any of our players or any player getting online abuse from the fans. They just hope they can blot it out.
Yeah, just looking at Chris Shields here, just the way he gets himself out of situations, he's so good as a
Oh,
defensive midfielder. Just there, he was under pressure twice and just looked so calm in possession. What a player!
yeah, he's a
Um,
crucial player for Dundalk. I think had he been in the cup final last year, I wonder would we've had a different result.
yeah, but they said that then when Rovers played them in Tala and they won 3-2. So
He was there. So yeah,
just that comment there, did you see it about
yeah,
O'Shea?
O'Shea breathing down his neck. Yeah, it's a good shout. I mean, Shane has been. It's nice. We were talking earlier about the options we have at the back, and I mean, certainly it's our strongest area. We have Matt Doherty or Seamus Coleman. I mean, in the Stevens. We have at least three, and you've Kevin Long actually. Not to mind John Egan, Shane Duffy, and Darrow Shea now, but you've Kevin Long playing regularly for Burnley as well. Kieran Clark it's great to see Kieran Clark back from injury as well. So we have actually quite a lot of options at the back, and we could probably afford an injury or two. It's as you move further forward in our side that you get more concerns, and the squad looks that bit weaker.
Oh,
A chance in behind. No.
check your emails there, Gary, because I just got my email about the Bulgaria game. It was
Oh,
successful.
okay.
If you have your phone handy, just
I do.
yeah, I just with Darrow O'Shea, I think what David's saying there in the comments is right, because ref, that was a pull on Hubin. I think he's right, because O'Shea can play with the ball at his feet, even though he's been playing with West Brom and they don't naturally do that. I think, but the way he's been brought up through Kevin's academy and stuff like that, he does play, or is capable of playing the way Stephen exactly wants him to, and obviously has shown that with the under-21s and stuff like that. I think he showed very assured, composed performance against Finland. I still think it was a really impressive debut for a young lad to come in and just look like he's been there for 50 caps or whatever, because that's what it did look like. I thought he's just so calm, and I just think he's a brilliant centre back, and I do think that for the next 2 years Shane will be looking over his shoulder, because I think John Egan has more longevity in him at the top level than probably Shane does. And I'm not saying that in a bad way or anything like that, but you look at John Egan, how much he's improved in the last year. I think he will keep on improving. Oh, good tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm okay for England. I didn't see a response in the Wales game there, but I did get the approval for England, so I'll be going to Wembley next week, thankfully.
Very good.
So,
oh, good save, McCurry. There's a couple of people commenting from all over the world. Let us know where you are watching. If you're watching from, I don't know, wherever. Because there's a couple of foreign names there that I wouldn't be able to guess where they're coming
yeah.
from. And let us know where you're watching from. They could be Austrian.
I'd say that's Turkey, is it? Maybe I'd say Emre's in Turkey. Anyway, you can let us know. And I don't know where Mikhail is. He's following Dundalk anyway.
And Kieran Orr is watching in Derry, and he's been talking about Derry all night. So fair play, Kieran. He's watching on YouTube. We'll give him a little shout out there so he can see himself. He's watching.
He was also the one that mentioned the Derry treble side from 1989 as well.
Here's a free kick in. I have to say, Dundalk are starting to kind of get a grip of the game, I think.
Yeah, they've certainly taken the game to Rapid quite a bit in the second half, and had a couple of half chances without troubling the keeper too much.
Oh, lucky Hubin.
No.
Do. I'm glad that this mic is working nice and loud now. Yeah, there's no other comments.
Sean Gannon, just saying Sean Gannon did very well there in midfield to win the ball. It's been lost again since his Rapid are breaking away. Get it out. Oh no. Poor clearance. Well done, Chris Shields. That was Chris Shields got his head in that, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been just needlessly given the ball away. Well done, Hubert.
Yeah.
That's the type of centre forward play that Ireland need. The way he did that there. Hopefully he doesn't do anything silly here. Oh, he's giving a great ball to Michael Duffy.
Oh, it's side netting.
Your man took his toe out of it though.
Yeah.
That was a great ball.
Oh, fantastic.
It's one of those, when you put your foot up to block it and the striker kicks it.
Yeah, it was an accident, but it could be very sore. Definitely no malice in the foul, or in not the foul, the tackle, but
Horror got away with one there, I think, as well.
Yeah, I wonder are they reckon he could be. Oh, Michael Duffy looks really hurt. Hope he's okay.
He looks like he's
He
broken his
looks in a
toe or
lot.
something.
He looks in a lot of pain. He could easily have broken a bone in his foot there, just the way it was challenged.
I, maybe a metatarsal.
Oh, that's a,
Hopefully not. It's just the way
hopefully not. Yeah,
it's just the way he's reacting. He looks like he's in absolute agony. He's getting a
yeah.
stretcher here.
Oh, the ref is calling for a stretcher.
I think he's telling him he's all right. Oh yeah, they're sore. They are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's in the top of his foot, the instep, and above the boot. So he probably got it straight down on his on his instep.
He's getting some. I was gonna say
Pain
DP,
killing,
but
probably pain killing spray. Yeah,
and those boots would be super light as well. So you'd be going around like in your bare feet anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, out. That is a sore one right on the bridge of your kind of leg and your foot, where your ankle and foot kind of connects at the front.
Hopefully not a broken bone, though. It's quite less likely to be a broken bone now. It's just hopefully it's the impact that is causing the pain and not a break.
Yeah, delighted now that you're going to Wembley. By the way,
Yeah, looking forward to it now.
bit jealous to be honest.
Yeah. It would have been a fantastic one if had it been a full house. You could have had 15, 20,000 Irish fans like there was in 2013 for that Shane Long goal we were talking about earlier.
Yeah, definitely. Mold to play Arsenal next. Yeah, because I was raging because I couldn't go to the Emirates last week because they cancelled my flights. I was fuming.
Yeah, it's another shame for the Dundalk, talking about big crowds. I mean, had Dundalk been able to bring fans to that, you probably would have had quite a few thousand travelling over. And I'm sure, well, maybe this is a bit macabre, but
Oh,
maybe it's a good thing there are no fans tonight. If you talk that awful terror attack in Vienna and sympathies to the people who were killed on Tuesday night, but you could have had Dundalk fans there in a normal time, and they could have been easily caught up on it as well.
yeah. Yeah, well, I suppose it's a blessing in disguise. In some ways,
Mhm.
some ways it's not. Um, here's one for you. I think he plays against Bulgaria or Wales.
Yeah, I think he'll play. I think he'll probably get a run out. I mean, I think Stephen probably brought him into the squad to get a look at him, and and just to go back to something we'd said the previous windows that Stephen has been using the Nations League and obviously the friendly to experiment a bit. And maybe it's a case he's had a look at Shawnee Maguire, he's had a look at Shane Long, and now he wants to get a look at James Collins. And yeah, so I think he'll definitely play at some stage. Whether it's at Wembley, Wales, Bulgaria, I don't know. Um, the Bulgaria game is particularly crucial because when you get into the relegation from the Nations League, and whatever happens in the first two games, if we beat Bulgaria, we avoid relegation. We may know by next week, by the following week, actually, what we need. A draw might be enough against Bulgaria, but as of now, if we beat Bulgaria, we'll definitely avoid relegation. Just see Cameron Dumbian is on for Darrell Leahy there for Dundalk.
And Mountney for Gannon.
Oh, I missed that one. Okay.
They did that the other night against Pats as well. Spurs just country went up against Ludicrous. He done that as well against Pats the other day. it was bizarre. He took off Leahy and he took off Gannon and he brought on Mountney and thing. I just find it weird. It's not like, I know they came off the pitch and they weren't happy about it because they were sitting near them.
The only thing I'll
Massive
say,
numbers.
Paul, is there's so many games at the moment. Dundalk are playing. Uh, I mean, they're playing again next Monday night in the last day of the season, and then they're playing. Well, actually, no, they're not playing for a while then because the international break. Um, oh, they are. They've got the FEI Cup the following weekend, isn't it? Even though, so they've the FEI Cup at the weekend. Chance here,
Oh no.
closing down.
Oh, over.
Okay, good. It's gone for a corner. They're just playing every 3 days, and you have to freshen up the team, freshen up the squad. So I suppose Felipe, whatever chance he gets um, to rest players or change things, I don't think anyone can play every game at this stage.
Filippo.
Filippo, sorry, Felipe is Spanish, isn't it? Filippo.
Yeah. Johnny Asefa is asking for the score. It's 1-1, Johnny.
Say Kieran Orr as well, saying relegation would be a disaster. Yeah, absolutely, Kieran. I really hope we don't get relegated. I know some people are saying it'd be great for away trips, but it would be a disaster. I mean, the caliber of country we'd be playing would be a lot weaker. If we wanted to play off for Euro 2024, we'd probably have to win our Nations League group. And for all sorts of reasons, we need to avoid relegation. It's absolutely crucial that we do.
He's added in another comment there.
Hope that the World Cup qualifying draws kind to us, but we need to start winning games to avoid third seeds. Yeah. Um, we probably will end up in third seeds, unfortunately. Whoever wins the Northern Ireland v Slovakia playoff will almost certainly jump ahead of us. And we're probably going to need possibly a couple of wins between the three games to get back, to get second seed. Obviously, depends what other countries do as well. But I think as of now, it looks likely we'll be dropping down to third seeds, which could leave us with a very tough group. We need a bit of luck then. Probably, ideally, to draw uh, as second seeds, whichever one of Slovakia or Northern Ireland probably overtakes us. Or maybe we can just hang on to second seeds, be a bit optimistic.
Yeah. I'd just like to see us win a couple of games in our next round of games.
Yeah. A win, even one win would be is badly needed, I think. Just get that monkey off our backs for a while. And we have the World Cup draw coming up then in early December. It's something else to look forward to.
Danger Man, Kulakani, it's 1-1. Yeah, we need a win just to get the pressure off the gaffer. Mind you, he took the criticism on the chin earlier. So fair play to him. I'm not getting carried away either. I'm not looking for Stephen to be sacked or anything like that ridiculous. Carry on. It actually annoys me when I just see all that stupid shit like, oh, Kenny out, he's out of his depth. Oh, just go away. Just these
So,
people who in my opinion, it's the same people who've never played football in their life, who don't understand football but just sit on the couch and watch it, and they've no understanding of the actual game itself. Just like anybody with any sort of credibility in football has seen how positive it is having Stephen in charge and what he's done from a football point of view for the nation already in terms of the strides that were made, the improvements in the way we play. Obviously not with the goals that were scored, but in the way we were playing and the chances created. I know goals win games, but I think goals will come. But so many people live on this. Oh, he's out of his depth. Blah, 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 blah. You know, barking at the TV, usual crap. Um, for me, it just annoys me when I see it, and if I see it, I don't even like I only really respond to like the positive comments and people who kind of are open minded and see the changes being done. These people who are just saying we're shit and we can't score goals and we're never going to win a game, I just don't entertain them really, because I think they're just looking for an argument more so than anything else. And for me, it's you support us when we're good and when we're bad. So if you don't support us when we're not winning, you're not really a supporter, are you? You know, fans are supposed to be supporters, and I feel as though some of them just love to complain for the sake of complaining, because they used to watch a Man United, or well, not Man United is not a good example right now because they're actually really bad, but you know what I mean. Like whenever a
Yeah,
team
well,
are doing well, a lot of there's a lot of Irish fans tend to stick with that team, and then when they don't do well, like a lot of Liverpool fans, um, went hiding for years until Klopp came back, and now all of a sudden they're huge Liverpool fans again. I go back to when Ireland weren't that good under Trapattoni. There was people falling away, and then when we started getting to tournaments, it was all, oh, we love Ireland again. I know people even on my football team who slaughter me for making videos for Irish teams, and just like, why would you even watch Ireland? Like, I'd rather train than watch Ireland and stuff like that. Just silly things.
mm. Yeah, I mean, the mindless criticism probably is a waste of time. I think the argument, which, and I suppose the jury is still out on it, is whether we're able to play the because the problem with playing the style of football that we're playing under Stephen is it does leave you more open and leaves you more vulnerable. And if we're not good enough to create and score many goals, and you're more vulnerable to concede, then you can look. Well, just watching this is coming in. You're a lot more vulnerable, and then you're leaving yourself open to criticism. So it's
Good save.
oh, good save there, good save. So and this is where the question marks, and I don't know the answer to this yet, is um, whether we have the players to play that style of football. And because it's okay for if you're Pep Guardiola with Manchester City and to keep the ball and play that kind of passing football, pass it out from the back. And they also have the creative players to create and take the chances. And so it's quite a challenge for us. And there are going to be teething pains. And but the good thing is we certainly will be a lot more attractive to watch. And hopefully we can get results as well. So I don't know. It could be. There's a chance here.
No, it's clear.
Uh, we could be in for a difficult few months ahead.
Yeah. A guy I know, Derek Kavanagh is his name, and he runs. I don't know if you've seen Keep It on the Deck.
I haven't actually. No, I don't think so.
It's a very popular kind of coaching type of account, and they do a lot of coaching and analysis and stuff like that, and basically kind of giving out that Kenny should probably focus more on playing to the best of the players that he has, rather than trying to implement what his best scenarios are. I didn't really agree. I think what Stephen's trying to do, I think the players have responded really well and came out. The only thing they just haven't done is score goals, and have been unlucky. If they've had chances, they just haven't gone in, and probably lack a bit of quality or composure up front to score the goals that we need. You know, so I don't think that is the case. I think the more young players to come through, the more Stephen Kenny will have an impact on. I think, because you look at the under 21s, they all love playing for him. They all love playing for him now. Any of the ones that were called up, oh no, side net.
It's wide. So I thought it was in for a second. Oh,
Yeah, so I
lucky.
think that's Rapid Vienna there nearly scored. Demir with a chance he probably should have scored. I thought it was in.
He had time to pick his spot. Yeah, it's probably just shaved the post. I'd say.
Yeah. Sorry, where was I with that last point? If you can't remember, I will just move on
You were
because
just saying that a lot of them love playing for the under 21s, and the players enjoy his style of play. The younger players.
Yeah, I still think there's a few of them that can still come up to the senior team and will come up to the senior team in the next year. And I think there is opportunities there. There's a couple of subs coming on here. Hubin went off for Macmillan and Flores come off for Sean Murray, who scored against Molde, if you remember. And I think he scored in that game in the Aviva Stadium as well.
And he scored in Moldova. Actually, there's another record. He scored in 3 consecutive European games for Dundalk, and the the only other player to believe that, I got that from a stat from a Dundalk's fan, is a friend of mine. The only other player to do that for Dundalk in Europe was Mick Fairclough, going back. There's a blast from the past from the early 80s, and as a Limerick fan, I can well remember Mick Fairclough, because we were up there challenging Dundalk for the title in those days. And if I remember, well, I don't remember because it's just before my time, but I think Mick Fairclough played for Drogheda against us in the 1971 FAI Cup final as well. But great player, great striker.
Yeah, there's a lot of comments coming in from people. I don't think they're subscribers now. They're all looking for a rapid win. It's 1-1. There's 14 minutes plus added time to be played. So we're obviously hoping for a Dundalk win here, but they look like they're getting tired now.
Yeah, even I think Dundalk could definitely take 1-1 now. It would be nice to, yeah, a win would be absolutely fantastic. Don't get me wrong, but to get out of here with a 1-1 draw would be fantastic.
People just keep on saying goal. I think they're just trying to take the piss out of other people. Lorenzo Contigliozzi says, "How is Rapid playing?" They're playing decent, but they're on the defense here from Dundalk. Odua is on the ball. Can he make anything happen? He runs it out.
Oh, it was really. I don't think it was really a foul, but the defender certainly kind of strong armed him off the ball there. Probably say it's good defending. There was 2 of them at it. He was actually pulling him as well when I look at the replay. But
so that was a sore one, fell on his arse.
But there are fresh legs on for Dundalk, so that'll probably help, because the impact of playing all these games every 3 or 4 days is surely going to have an effect on the legs of the players.
Yeah, you'd hope now that they can just see it out, try and even nick a win. Oh,
good save! Oh no, he's put the rebound in.
Vienna.
Oh, 2-1 Rapid. It's disappointing. Oh, and it was a good save by Aaron McCary.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Dundalk. As you were just saying there, how they were getting tired. That'll be a killer blow for them.
Yeah.
Let's see the replay now. It's still waiting on it. Your man did well there on the right-hand side to keep it in. The spare man there. When the ball bounces in, it's a bit of a lost cause. He does well.
I don't know whether McCary should have palmed it across goal. He probably should have just put it out. Yeah. And the Rapid striker just headed into the empty net then.
I think the keeper's at fault for both goals.
Yeah. I thought it was a good enough save, but unfortunately he just palmed it into the middle of his goal, which you really shouldn't do as a goalkeeper. And he was at fault for the first one. It's going to be very hard for Dundalk to get back into this now.
Frank just has a comment there. I think you should have a look at there. I'll read it out for you. I think Kenny knows these young lads, even if not 100% ready yet, can play his style of football. When we are going to see so many changes, supporters need patience, which isn't a common trait in the football world. The changes have been huge. It won't change overnight.
Yeah, it's fair comment, and but we also need those under-21 players to make the breakthrough at club level.
Yeah,
and to be playing regularly. Go on. Is that a penalty? Yes.
Dundalk penalty.
Yes.
clever play.
Yeah. Yellow card as well. Well, it's the penalty that matters.
Let's see this now, because Macmillan just gets a little toe poke and then gets clipped. It was clever centre forward play. I think he took the ball there. Looks like he's gonna take it. So there's a bit of a mishap on the ground. He comes from his blind side there, I think.
Yeah, takes the ball and defender
Oh,
just took
that's
him out.
very soft. That's soft.
Oh, I think it's a definite penalty. I think he got him. I don't think it's soft. He didn't get near the ball and he caught
Well,
David
that
McMillan.
first angle looks like he kicked. Macmillan kicked his leg. I'm not complaining. Like I'm glad
Okay.
for them. Here we go. Macmillan. Oh, he scores just
Yes.
about.
Yes. Got it in. 2-2. Of course, Pat Hoon had been off the pitch as well, but he looks very relieved there, David McMillan. I don't know what your thoughts on that face, but that looked like the face of a very relieved man. But he got it in. That's all that matters. Well, the keeper came miles. He came miles off his line, and I mean, he should have saved it. He got two hands on it. But having said that, he was yards off his line, and it should have been retaken. I don't know if it would have been retaken, but certainly with VAR these days, it would be retaken. But anyway, it's gone in. It's 2-2 now. Come on, Dundalk. We need to at least get a draw. Don't give it away.
Oh, that was a dodgy tackle. He's getting a yellow, I think.
Yellow card.
Cameron Dummigan. They're all pleading for a red card here on that player. I'd like to see a replay on this one. Is he making more of it than it needs to be?
It didn't look great now. It's certainly a yellow.
He won the ball though.
Oh, yeah, but he did. It was reckless. I think it was definitely a yellow card and it was a foul. No, that's. I don't think there was enough for a red card, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, no, it was just from the first challenge. It looked like it without the replay.
Yeah.
Viva Gary, Spain.
Just checking some other results. Rangers are 3-2 up now in Lisbon. Leverkusen are winning 3-2 in Israel against Hapoel Beersheva. Slavia Prague are 3-1 up in Nice. Lech Poznan are 3-1 up in Standard Liège. Granada are gone 2 up in Nicosia against Ammonia. And PAOK have turned it totally around. They're winning 4-1 against PSV Eindhoven. They were a goal down at half time. Real Sociedad are ahead against Alkmaar 1-0. And Napoli are winning 2-1 in Rijeka in Croatia. Sivasspor are still beating Qarabag 1-0. And Spurs are gone 3-1 up in Bulgaria. They should be okay there.
Matt Doherty do anything in that game, did he?
Oh, let me check.
Probably not. I would have got an alert by it.
No goals or assists anyway. If he started, I presume he's still on
start,
Yeah, he's still on the. Oh, he got a yellow card.
That's all right. It's not fantasy football.
No.
Oh, go on, Murray. Dundalk are looking like they're going for the win here.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's. I'd still be happy with a point. Well, maybe Dundalk fans, what do you think? But I say blow the final whistle now and get at least a point because I don't know. You can go on a run and just a losing run, it can affect confidence and everything. And
Well done, McMillan.
you don't want to lose. Well, you don't want to lose as many games. You don't want to lose all your 6 games anyway in the
Well done, O'Dua.
competition. He's done very well there. Won a corner.
He used to play for Rangers as well.
Okay.
Scumbag. Celtic kicking off at 8, is it? 5-8.
Yeah, it's the late game. I think it's. We're not sure what game is on actually on this channel straight afterwards.
Oh, how's he missed?
Oh, so close! Oh,
Greg Slugger.
Greg Sloggett header from the corner, and the keeper was nowhere near it, and it just went past the far post. That seemed very, very close. What a pity. Odua did well to get back there and headed clear for a throw.
Worst header ever, though.
Well, he got it out of the. I think you get it out of the danger zone, though. That's the thing. Stack came up there. I actually hadn't seen this as being as dominant, but it's showing Rapid had 9 efforts on target in the game, and Dundalk had only 2. Um, I obviously biased, I'll accept that, but I didn't think Rapid had dominated the game to that extent. And I'm not disputing the fact or the stat, but it doesn't look like that type of game that, from my watching, that Dundalk have been totally under the cosh, which is what you'd expect from 9 efforts on target to 2.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with you there. Well, I've been impressed with Filippo in terms of the way he's got with the players that he's using. He's always using the whole squad. I've been impressed with how he's used it. To be fair, like because he's still taking out players like, oh my god,
Oh
goal,
no! Oh no!
keeper, what are you doing coming for that?
Oh, that's poor. Yeah, yeah. If you come that far, you have to get it. 87th minute, just to ball into the box from midway inside the second half, and Aaron McCarry came out to nearly the penalty spot, it seemed, and Rapid guy beat him to it and headed it into the empty net.
Funny, just as I was saying how I was impressed with him rotating the squad, the keeper he's brought in, I've not been impressed with. So a ball to the edge of the box from the corner, crossed in. He comes for it when he probably should have just stayed in his line. He would have caught it, and the player gets in there ahead of him. Big tall lad.
Yeah, he was nowhere near it when he came for it. Oh,
Oh, that's shocking.
yeah, that's disappointing. Really disappointing. To concede so late, having done so well, to come back to 2-2.
Yeah. He looks like Gary Rogers' little brother or something.
He does look a bit like Gary Rogers.
Is that the lad who scored the first goal?
I don't know now. I can't remember.
People in the comments here are delighted to see Rapid Vienna getting the goal.
Well, we obviously have a few fans in Vienna or wherever they're supporting Rapid from. They're a huge club, by the way, Rapid, obviously.
Oh, something's kicking off here.
Filippo and one of the Rapid players are kicking it off. Yeah.
Sean Murray just shoves him away. Come on, Dundalk. There's still 2 minutes left.
Yeah, and plus added time. We could have a bit of added time as well for the Michael Duffy injury. Yellow card for Filippo, I think.
Michael Murney, who was given out, is back again, and he says, "Didn't Dundalk used to be good at a decent defensive team?" Yeah, I think their keepers done them tonight.
Yeah, I'd say the first and the third. I know you're blaming him for the second as well. Could have put it in a different area. Go on, let's fall for somebody. No, it's going to be cleared.
But he could have tipped it over the bar. He could have just, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Or just put it out. Yeah, just put it out for a corner instead of pushing it out right into the middle of the goal.
Good ball, I'll do it, and it's out to Mountney, who I don't know what he did there, shot or.
I think he tried to have a low shot, but it just got blocked.
They're on the counter here, Vienna, great ball. They're on the attack here. They're in the box now, and they've scored.
Oh, number 4. Yeah, it's game over now. 4-2.
Great goal.
It was a great goal. It was a great finish.
I don't know if he was at fault for this, but we'll have to see now in a sec.
that looked right in the corner. In fairness, But I mean, you're always going to get caught if you're up chasing the game 3-2 down in the 90th minute. Kieran Norris said it's 3-3 Benfica and Rangers. Benfica have come from 2 down with 10 men.
We're gonna see here now. Here's the counter attack. It was a good counter attack to be fair. Dundalk were just up there. Now, let's see.
Took it on. A nice effort with his left foot. Yeah, I wouldn't blame the keeper for that one now. It was well in the corner.
I let him away with that one, but the other three, in my opinion, he was at fault. Doesn't look happy. I thought someone saying they're embarrassed, and I don't really think it's been embarrassed. I think Dundalk have really given a good account of themselves. It's feels though.
I mean, they were 2-2 away from home in Europe with 3 minutes to go, so it's definitely not embarrassing. Just disappointing the way it's finished. I mean, Dundalk now have a crucial game on Monday night against Sligo. I think they need a point to make sure they're back in Europe again next season. And it would be a real shame, Dundalk, all the work they've done to build up their own coefficient if they're not in Europe to take advantage of it.
Yeah. They're doing nothing here. They're just playing it around, but they don't need to. You're 4-2 down. Let's just get it up the pitch.
Actually, it is a fantastic finish to the season on Monday night because just about everybody, I think, apart from Cork City, have something to play for, haven't they?
Yeah.
Well, apart from Shamrock.
I'm probably gonna go.
Shamrock.
I'm probably gonna go to the Shelbourne game. What game are you going to?
I'm going to Rovers and Derry on Saturday.
So you're not going to one on Monday?
I don't think so. I think Jerry's going to Pats and Bows. So.
And Dundalk plays Sligo. You can't go to that one because it's 5k.
Yeah, well,
yeah. This game's just fizzling out now. Good play, boy. Oh, I love it, Murray.
Great play, actually. Yeah.
There's no one to give it to though. Oh, nice.
It was lovely. Football. Oh, it's a goal kick. I thought it looked like corner. So did it do it.
5 minutes was a lot of added time.
It was Nicky Duffy injury and there was quite a few substitutions. So unfortunately the fourth goal has just killed it.
Yeah, it's just over now. I get me dinner into me.
Yeah, it's just a bit flat, a bit really disappointing the way it's finished. And the second time in 3 games, Dundalk have taken the lead in the group stages, and unfortunately, have got nothing out of the game. They led Molde at half time. They led early on here, and unfortunately, on 0 points now. And hopefully, they can pick up something against Rapid when they come to the Aviva.
I think, but like the keeper's thrown into for Dundalk as well, though. Like as in the Rapid keeper. Like the penalty.
Yeah.
How has he not saved that? And then the one from Houben.
He should have saved Houben's one as well, probably. Well, definitely.
Go on to do that. Oh, he's gone.
That's
Penalty.
another penalty. It is. The ref's given it as well.
It's not going to mean it because there's only a minute left.
So.
What's? This is the first time I do is. This is the first time I've seen Odu actually show. He kicks his own heel there. He kicked his own heel, I think. I mean, look, it's not going to matter or anything, but it'd be nice for Dundalk to finish on 4-3 rather than
Yeah.
4-2. Hopefully this shit keeper can't save it. Or throws it in again. Dun, 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 dun. David McGoldrick scores, buries it.
4-3. Yeah, sends the keeper the wrong way. Is there still time? You're looking for the ball back. Well, we're 5.5 minutes into the time now, and there's 5 minutes added on, or at least 5 minutes, the ref said. Maybe get another 20, 30 seconds.
How you finish?
Yeah, it was a great penalty. Keeper, you can't blame the keeper for that one.
No, he probably would have thrown it in anyway if it was in the end. I think he's blown up there now, the ref.
Yeah, that's it.
Alright, well, that's 4-3. It's actually probably the best game we've watched in terms of goals on the watch along.
Yeah, I mean, 7 goals if you're a neutral, but it's just disappointing for Dundalk to come out the wrong side of it.
Yeah, after especially, being leading and then. Oh, they were leading twice, weren't they?
No, just once. They led 1-0 and then they trailed 2-1 and then equalised and then went
Oh
4-2
yeah,
down.
yeah, with the pen, yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
You got a nice elbow to the lip there anyway, McMillan. So now Celtic are on. So I'm gonna jump off, Gary. It's been a pleasure
Okay,
as always, and I'm going to make some dinner. But I'll get on to you there anyway. I'll send you a text, a couple of things. I'll get on to you about, and we'll sort out then. I've sent you on that email for the 21s thing tomorrow as well. All right.
great. Okay, cheers, Paul. Yeah.
All right. Thanks very much for anyone who has gotten involved in the comments. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're nearly at 9,000 subscribers, pushing hard. So make sure you subscribe. And yeah, don't forget to like the video as well. We'll talk to you all soon. Thanks to anyone who joined in the comments.